Are you tired of working hard, but still feeling broke at the end of the month? Chances are it's not just your spending habits, it's the financial myths that you've been told for your entire life. Today, we're going to break into the top 5 myths that you have been told that are keeping you broke. And I promise once you see the truth, you're never going to view money the same. Stick around to the end because I do have one bonus tip that is going to change your financial future. Myth number 1, you need a high income to build wealth. Now, this is one of the lies that I've seen in personal finance. We've been taught that only doctors, lawyers, CEOs are going to have the ability to get rich and build wealth. That is not true at all. It isn't about how much money you earn. It is about how much money you keep, how much money you're investing to get that compounding interest working for you. That is going to be the game changer. Think about it. I know people personally that I've done financial education and counseling for that make $50,000 a year that are retiring millionaires. We see teachers living below their means and really consistently putting money into investment accounts. That makes the difference. Now, on the flip side, I've seen doctors, I've met lawyers, I've seen people that are making $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year that are absolutely drowning in debt because they're overspending. They never save anything. They are not investing at all, and they are living at paycheck to paycheck, even looking at $400,000 that they are making on an annual basis. Wealth comes from discipline. That is something, regardless of how much you make, is going to be the game changer. It is consistently doing investment through dollar cost averaging over an extended amount of time and making those very smart money moves, not just about the income. Never, ever fall for this myth that you need a high income to actually start building wealth because it is not true at all. Now, the second one we look at, debt is normal. Everyone has debt. That is not true. For me personally, I owe a little bit left on my mortgage, and that is it. I will be 100% Dave Ramsey style, completely debt-free. When we start looking at credit cards, car loans, student loans, really everything that we have, debt is a part of life. And that is what I've always been taught. Even looking at my parents, even my grandparents, debt is a tool. And really, you can sometimes use it as a tool. But honestly, when you look big picture, it is an absolute trap. The average household in America carries over $7,000 in credit card debt, and they are at sky high rates. We're talking on average around 24%. That is money that could be invested. That is money that you could use to build that wealth instead of making your banks and your financial institutions a lot richer. Now, with all that debt, not all debt is created equal. We have to really focus on eliminating high interest debt. When you start looking at student loans, when you start looking at mortgages, they can help you build equity. Student loans can actually help you get a better career, but treating that as normal will keep you absolutely broke. So the wealthy, they focus on assets and gaining additional assets and creating more income than racking up the liabilities and really racking up debt. That is what I have seen. And it took me probably about 25 years before I really realized that debt is very detrimental when it comes to the wealth creation. And this came, and I've shared this story before, during my master's program, we sat down, we looked at the last 90 days. So think about it. You're breaking down 90 days of your budget. We're calculating everything, and we are looking at what people are paying in interest on a monthly budget. If you have student loans, if you have a mortgage, if you have an auto loan, if you have credit cards, what exactly and how much money is going towards interest on a monthly basis? It is a very big eye-opening experience if you ever do it, to understand and then equate how much you're spending in there to what you make on an hourly wage, meaning that if you're spending $500 on a monthly basis just for interest for the things you already own or the things that were in the past, that is $500 that you could be investing elsewhere, which is an absolute game changer. Now, myth number 3, saving money alone will make you rich. We know this is not true, and it is not true by any means. Don't get me wrong, savings accounts are very important. However, when we start looking at the savings and really what it is returning to you, it is not, and savings accounts are not made to accumulate wealth. Investing is meant to build wealth. You're in for a very rude awakening if you think saving money in a traditional savings account is going to make you exceptional wealthy. Even if you're going high yield savings with that 3-4%, again, money is meant to be invested. That is the only way you're going to truly build wealth. Why? Inflation will eat it up. When we start looking about 2.8% of inflation, if you're earning that 0.01, even that 0.1, you are losing essentially 2.7% on an annual basis of buying power, meaning your money sitting in those savings accounts is going to be able to buy less in the future than it can today. You're eating and really eroding that wealth that you have. Now, the wealthy know this, saving for emergencies, but they invest in growth, looking at stocks, real estate, index funds. These are the vehicles that are absolutely going to crush inflation, grow your wealth. So the first step when it comes to savings, getting that small emergency fund. After that, you want to make sure that your money is growing and it is growing in the proper place. Now, you need your money to work for you. And again, you need this to grow. That is the reason why I talk about when you do a traditional IRA, when you do a Roth IRA, those funds need to be invested. Don't leave them at your Chase, not at your Bank of America, your Wells Fargo, even your credit union. They need to be invested in the market, and the market is the place that they're going to really grow. If you look at something like the VOO, a very low cost index fund with an average return of around 10%, if you're leaving it in a traditional account, chances are it will never grow to the point that you need it to, and this will keep you broke absolutely. Now, myth number 4, investing is only for the rich. I have heard this for an incredible amount of time. And this was actually a myth for me. Again, that was very, very hard till I got my 401k together, put my 15% in there, and I have let it run to going at 100,000 to 300. Now we are almost to $500,000 sitting in a 401k, because investing is not only for the rich, even for the people who have a little bit of income. If you're putting 10 or 15%, the compounding magic will happen. Wall Street has done a really good job in convincing you and I that investing is super complicated, which it doesn't have to be. Literally picking one ETF, investing on a regular basis. And with this complication, with the risk, it is only for the wealthy. But again, that simply is not true. Thanks to technology, anyone can start investing. And some of these funds are as little as $1. When you start looking at fractional investing in index funds, robo-advisors, it really leveled the playing field through technology over the last 10 or 20 years to be able to go into your M1 Finance, to go into your Robinhood, to be able to invest in artwork through Masterworks, looking at REITs and really investing in real estate through Fundrise. There are so many tools now that you can use with a very low income, as long as you're willing to consistently go in there and invest. Waiting until you're rich, very backwards thinking overall. Investing is how you become rich, not waiting till you're rich and then looking to invest. The earlier you start, even with smaller amounts, the more time the compounding is going to grow and getting that interest. If you think about it for a minute, if you put $100 in an account when a child is born, put $100 in every single month until that child turns 65, you are going to have a multi-million-dollar portfolio just because of the compounding interest that we get. Now, another one in number 5 we're looking at, money cannot buy happiness. Now, on the surface, it is very tricky to talk about this one. Sounds very true, but the reality is money doesn't buy happiness. Money buys freedom. Freedom can lead to happiness. And I know old Tosh.0, if you've ever seen it, Daniel Tosh, talking about money can buy a jet ski. People are happy on a jet ski, but it is the peace of mind. It buys the choices. It buys the time. It buys the options, which give you the ability to live the life that you want. Imagine not having to stress about bills, not worrying about payments, being able to walk away from a job you don't like, being able to take care of your family, your elderly parents, your, young kids. That kind of security, that kind of freedom leads to greater happiness. So money cannot buy that. Money is buying freedom. Money is buying your time, which again, a lot of people don't see it that way. Money isn't about the materialistic things that you can purchase. It's about living the life you want to lead, which is the reason why investing comes in. Believing money doesn't matter keeps people broke, keeps people really passive. And the truth, money is only a tool. When you think of a majority of people, including myself, there was a point in time I had a very strong emotional connection to money. If I lost some money in the market, it was absolutely devastating. When I read and really got a lot more of financial education and financial literacy, being able to separate the emotional side with the logical side of, I know what my long-term plan is. When it comes to investing, I have a 20, 30, 40-year runway. Even going into retirement, I am going to continue investing on a regular basis. When you use money wisely, it will distract you and can really drastically improve the life that you want to live with the money. And the bonus tip in here that you guys have been waiting for, the truth is financial education is the game changer. If you think about it for a minute, if you sit down, you watch my YouTube videos, you're checking out the channel, if you dedicate 30 minutes a day towards financial education, that's great. not going to be a game changer, not going to really do much for you. Let's say you do 30 minutes a day for the next 7 days. Now you're talking about having a real education, getting into really the game-changing aspect that we have of financial education and literacy. Now you compound that going from 7 days. Let's say now you do 7 months, 8 months, 12 months of 30 minutes a day of financial education. By the end of the year, you will have such an in-depth knowledge of the investing, of cryptocurrency, of the financial markets, of pretty much everything you need. And in this education, unfortunately, is not offered by financial institutions. Most of them have and really want nothing to do with it. And then we look at our school system where there is a massive gap between financial education and literacy and what kids actually need to start their career when they're leaving out of high school. So there you have it. Those are the 5 financial myths that absolutely keep you broke, and that bonus truth that can change your life. Now, let me ask you, which myths of these have you thought of? Which of these do you believe in? Drop it in the comments. I would love to hear your story. And if you have questions, drop them down as well. If you got any value from this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We do videos every day, financial freedom, investing, financial tips, if you want to break away from these myths and really change your life. Remember, wealth isn't just for the lucky few people. It is anyone that is willing to step up to the challenge. What we've been told, take control of your money. Thank you guys for watching the video, and I will catch you in the next one.